When you hear a title like Heaven, you say, okay, there's heaven, there's hell, there's purgatory, you say, oh my God, what am I going to be in for? But then what you read is this marvelously hypnotic story between a boy and a young woman. And you watch this flower open, sort of petal by petal, in the most hypnotic way. The other thing is that when something has that vivid an identity as a Kieślowski script, it's both exciting and dangerous for another director to take it on.
Tom's work is on this hinge between fantasy and reality, but always trying to find a truth in that junction. And so I think that in that sense, he is perfectly cast.
One of the things that's exciting about this is Tykwer has his own very vivid stylistic approach to film, so that while respecting the intention of Kieślowski, he's not trying to imitate Kieślowski.
Well, the most amazing thing about it for me was that it felt like the first time that I'm reading a script that I haven't written myself, and it feels incredibly familiar, and on the other hand, like something that I really want to explore and find out what is beyond it and what is behind it and why is it so much fascinating for me. I mean, I always had a strange relation to subjects like fate and coincidence and the relation between the two, and specifically elements like that, and that's a very Kieślowskian territory, I have to admit. So I have been, knowing or not knowing, I think under strong influence for a long time in my life. In basic, I think it's a film about redemption and about somebody who seems to be completely lost and who's taken out of the darkness and brought into the light. And the light comes from above, and that's where they're brought to.
But it's a very interesting problem here to take a woman who is doing something which is conventionally very unsympathetic, and then to find a young man who helps her commit another act which is unsympathetic, and to still understand and care and root for them as a couple. I mean, it's a very interesting moral dilemma, and that's part of the pull of the picture.
Philippa opens the film being kind of a lost soul, somebody who really is in a mood that is filled with anger, even hate, and a lot of destructive emotions. And she also has to really confront her own past to realize that there used to be a different being in herself that she actually has lost, and a being with much more positive, much more loving potential. And so in a way her journey is a journey back to the ability of loving. And Cate was absolute the first idea, the first choice that I was thinking of when I was reading the script. And so, I mean, that's rare, because usually then that doesn't work, and so you go on looking for somebody else who maybe, a different version of what you were thinking of, but in this case it just worked.
When I initially read Heaven, it was sometimes you respond, or hopefully a good script you respond to instinctually, and the great thing about the script is it's so rich and deep and complex, but at the same time incredibly simple, so that the A to B of the story you can synopsize in a sentence really, but the levels of poetry and the spiritual and philosophical depth of the piece provokes questions that daily make us sort of question ourselves as well as the characters, which is fantastic. And so, it was something I immediately wanted to do.
I think it's a journey for both of them. Filippo himself finds himself, in a way, struck by lightning, seeing this woman and realizing that in a strange way, that he has suddenly a knowingness about this is why I'm here and this is the person that I had to meet. So he's driven by a force that he in the beginning also hardly understands. He just knows something happens to him that makes him really take a very clear course in his life. And in a way, Giovanni was behaving the same way towards this project, and that was so absolutely convincing.
I really wanted to do it, and I chased after it and kind of hounded the director, Tom, and then finally, after a couple of trips to Europe and visiting, trying to go after it, and then he hired me.
They're clearly a yin and yang couple of sorts, and so there's a sense that the workings of fate have really spun to bring these two people into contact with each other, and that they're meant to participate in each other's lives in the playing out of whatever is in store for them.
And what I really adore about the script and about the whole structure of Heaven is that in basics it's very simple, and it has a very simple, clear, it's kind of a statement in a way, but beyond that it has a lot of levels that are very complex and interesting and that need to be discovered throughout the filming and hopefully throughout watching it.